Guess where? So if this flips, we got to trade above this high. If we can do so, we might tap back in. This would give us our 15-minute change in order flow with a 1-minute flip. 1-minute flip facilitates 15-minute movement, which would lead us higher from this lethargic pullback down. We'll get into a top-down analysis in a sec. Yeah, so man, looks like you guys absolutely destroyed it during Asia last night. That's fun. So what you're looking at is an awful range. Not awful, that's subjective. If you love ranges, it's delicious, isn't it? What we're seeing is large consolidation and then manipulation lower. Right? That's what news does. News doesn't completely change the market dynamic. It just adds in some liquidity for the purpose of facilitating what it needs to do. That's fairly predetermined. So I might have to get out of this. Yeah. Could be tapping back in. We'll see how it deals with that 1-minute imbalance. So what we're looking at is when you have, and this occurs on every time frame, you have consolidation, manipulation, expansion lower, right? The idea with market structure 101 is that as soon as you take a protected or you sweep below a protected low, and I use sweep as in we actually take it, then at some point you should trade back into the range before leaving, right? Higher time frames, obviously, when they're doing this, that's a little bit more challenging because you get these directional movements, not always 600 points down, but you get these directional movements. And what ends up happening is either a day or two later, we might trade back up into the higher time frame range, right? We might not trade up to here. That'll get left for potentially a long time after that, right? Because that's how markets operate. For example, look at what happened here. We left this range. right? We didn't really trade back into this at all yet, have we? We still haven't traded into it. We've got this SNDR here, responsible for breaking us out of this entire consolidation, right? This is a higher time frame one. That pullback there sent us up on our higher time frame chart. That was back on the 3rd of July. We're now what, the 12th? Right? Still haven't touched into it. So the possibility right now, given how our higher time frame looks, is failure lower should take us back up into that range, which would then offer a pretty nice short opportunity today. Right? So longs back to the top of the range. This is a higher time frame objective being completed. Very cautious of shorts. Now, this failure needs to achieve its minimum objective. We have where is it? That low here, actually, our current, like this is all manipulation below that, which means that this high here is still weak. Right there. So anybody looking long, this should be the target. If we fail above here, then that tells us that there's still some more juice to go back down. So this is our first major point above this high here, right, at 94. With the expectation of going higher with narrative, we don't have any 15-minute swings. This was all a meltdown, right? But if we are trading up and we fail, then all bets are off. Okay. That being said, we come into today with the largest red day that's occurred in the last couple of years. This was the biggest day since November 2022, and that was green. Was it November 2022 or 2023? One of the two. November 2023. Yeah. November 2022. Looks like, where was it? Right there. Right. And I don't think, yeah. So all the way back to September of 2022 was the largest red day. So as you guys see in sort of recent memory, large selling begets large selling. Right? Bars that close on their lows typically get follow through, especially after you've eclipsed the prior bar. Right? Hell, even some smaller bars get follow through. Right? So I would not be surprised if there was some higher time frame spooling today, but as it stands currently, we're looking to go lower. Higher than lower, I should say. That high is also the bottom of a 4-hour imbalance. Yes. We've actually tapped into a daily one here. So not surprised we bounced off of it. The midpoint here has still been left. Tom's talking about this high here. So many reasons to go lower for sure. I'm just looking at manipulation lower as much as I'd as I'm thinking we should go down for many reasons. We're having a hell of a lot of trouble right now in the middle of the 40 to 50 range as well. We'll see what the 930 open brings, but typically we go higher to then go lower. So we'll see. If you use bearish candles to denote the structure, then this is a protected high. Not yet. A high becomes protected after you break structure, right? This is a valid high because we closed below the last structural bull candle. This makes this a swing. What we're doing is we're looking at this because of the velocity of it being a potential shift in trend, given that we've got internal swings here. This would be the fourth push down. So it's not necessarily that this bar is a bear bar. We look at it from the context of it. Right? We're trending, yes. How deep in the trend are we? Oh, I got you. Let's have a look. You're looking at what? Is that the 1 minute? No, it's 15, isn't it? What I'm looking at is this candle from 3 o'clock until 1 in the morning. I'm actually not looking at this as part of 15-minute structure, right? So I'm not taking this low. I'm actually taking something a little bit higher. What I'm trying to annotate for you guys is that this low here had manipulation down twice. So we're failing to go lower. We should be going higher. What we're looking at when you have to consider where this low got put in is you have to consider from this high to this low, what time frame does it belong to? Right? For example, we have internal highs and lows here. That's actually not like that. It's like this. Right? It's got its own internal structure, which means that these lows actually aren't part of the 15-minute time frame. So I understand what you're saying in terms of this candle doing this, yes, but we're not denoting the structure that forms here based on the 15-minute time frame because this belongs to a higher time frame than that. Does that make sense? Similarly to when we look at structure in here yesterday before the disaster, we found that we actually had internal structure going on here that should take us back up, right? And I guess in theory, taking below here, we're kind of looking at this being a protected low, right? So we should be buying in here. As a result of that, we're bullish, right? So internal movement here. Technically, that's a protected low. See what ends up happening. This is not what you want to see in terms of this rally here at this crucial area. You got 10 seconds on this candle. I think we have news at 10 o'clock as well. Could be some shenanigans in this. We still haven't touched this high. We have swept this candle, so technically, we did get a closure above it, I suppose. So We'll see what happens with that low. I'm really getting back to basics today. This week has been a little wild. I think that everybody and their uncle and their mother and everything is looking for more short devastation today, given what happened yesterday. And they might be right, but I wouldn't be surprised if we took a lot of people out first. Interesting bottoming pattern here. I don't like the location. I'm not surprised if we don't take that first. Technically, this is our protected low in this internal movement. But again, looking at how long this has taken, 840 up to 850, this is actually 5 minute structure in my opinion. Or at least that's the time frame I was looking at. We'll see what this gives us. Probably some fireworks coming in for 925. Be interesting. Nice long arc, good scoop. Second entry if we respect this candle here that took us lower, especially if we close above. There's that tap in. First conservative target is this high here, but given the context of this and our narrative, we're actually looking for this high here for those of you guys that enjoy your swinging. You want some acceleration above here. You don't want lethargic movement above that high. We got our tap in. Our expectation is continuation now. We don't really want this speed bump being more resistance. We've already tapped into it. We got our reaction. Trading back into it, which is this that we're in right now, should yield at least above it. Good. You want to see more acceleration now, at least above that high? I'm taking a partial off. That looks like we're failing. Okay. Fine by me. Yeah, what they're talking about is this high to this low, right? Now, as we kind of talked about yesterday, in rare cases, right? We got our SMDR here, right? Extended this fractal itself, this consolidation. We already got our move out of it. Cool, right? That's our 1 minute. When we're discussing higher time frame price action, we still haven't taken that high, by the way. Rare cases, we actually shift to a bit of a higher time frame, right? So we've got all this price action from 5 in the morning now until about 8:45 in the morning. So this fractal here is actually responsible for it on the 5. And if we zoom down to the 1, what does that look like? It looks like this high to this low. So rare case of having to move up to the 5 minute because we've got our higher time frame like really in control here. Our higher probability areas are our 5 minute SNDRs. Right? That becomes kind of like our 1 minute, if that makes sense. Right? So we're seeing acceleration. I'm still holding, expecting here. Not sure if anybody hopped in. Obviously, this was the ideal entry. Here was your second entry. This is your cheat code entry. We don't want to see a lot of failure coming back into this consolidation. That takes us back down to here. Failure there takes us up. Right? Your 930 candle, sweeping out everything that's not part of structure, getting more bears interested and excited. Rut row. Whoop. Who could have predicted this? There's your high. Nice bats. Anybody grab? Failure here, as we were talking about in a range, takes us immediately back in. Little violent, but given that it's 931, you're now looking at this fractal. Large fractal, right here. We'll leave that over there. Right? Risky short, given that our narrative on our higher time frame was manipulation lower to take us higher. We still haven't taken our target yet. The possibility of going on a rocket ship up to it, given how many people are short, is palpable, right? But we follow price. So right now we're failing. We traded back into our range, right? And now any lethargic, bearish price action will lead to a short squeeze. So we'll probably come down to the midpoint of this. If we sweep here and fail, that'll be an aggressive long. You have 2 seconds, 1 second. Nope. Tap the midpoint. Also aggressive. We'll see if we have to sweep here first or not. Challenging to get a hold of if you're waiting for a sweep. Anybody manage? Okay. Got it. Got it. No. Okay. Buy, stop, entry. Okay. Fair enough. We've got about 40 points of volatility in 3 minutes. There will be multiple trades today. So your job now, if you missed it, steal your emotions, breathe, right? There's going to be many trades this morning. There's your sweep. You want to see follow through now. $10 points already given, but given narrative, you have to decide if it's worth it to hold on or not. I got in long again. We'll see if we get follow through above this candle. You guys should be break even now if you did get in. Right? If it's going to manipulate, we don't want it coming back down. We want it to be unfinished business and gone. And gone. Okay? And taking 10 points there. Probably no reason to get out of this just yet, but I didn't like how it respected the open of this candle. There's going to be a lot of trades today. That's a really good respect of the halfway point of this. Yes, we pulled back from above. But if you're long with your stretch target of that high, you're quite happy so far, right? Still break even. And them's the breaks if you're holding for a swing. But what you want to see for expansion is you want to see the midpoint of our area of interest be respected. Where's the pressure right now? Has the market tried going above a high and failed? Or has the market tried failing and cannot? Right? Manage risk, but trust the manipulation because that's how price moves. You guys smell something? They need to see acceleration above here. Yep. This high has swept below here and it's failed to do so. To recap why we're long from here, right? We're dealing with the midpoint of this candle, strong reaction from it. A lot of people are getting involved short here, given yesterday. And while they might make money scalping, those that are holding for that 400-point unwind, they're not terribly happy with it failing to go lower so far. Right? Where we stay away is we stay away from going long or short in here. This is what you want to see. That doesn't mean that's what you want to get involved in. Right? We play the extremes, especially when you're expecting range bound type movement or failure here or failure here. Still coming in hot. Now, the failure in here is slightly concerning for the bullish side, even if it's not able to achieve anything given the velocity from yesterday. Typically, this will be a very comfortable trade where we're holding from in here for our barbecue. But we do have to take into consideration what the higher time frame really wants to do. Right? That said, still expecting higher. And if you're short right now from 60, how happy are you? Are you not entertained? Give us them profits. What you're looking at, one, this low, right? This low, you're not adjusting. We failed above this high, bear bar, right? This bar ended up closing strong. The market attempted to sell off and failed. Our stop goes below here. Our stop goes below here. If you weren't taking your profit target here, you would be stopped out on your swing. That's how you catch these monsters, should this candle have wanted to open here and blast off. Right? SNDR that just broke above with a body closure. This is our bias. If we're either going to sit in a range or we're going to continue higher. See what we get. Right in the middle of the SNDR. Decent sweep. You want to trade through that candle now at 63 if? Nope. Swept the SNDR. This is our bias. It's accelerating right now, so not terribly interested. Low of that candle is 48, which our eyes are on. We'll get 30 seconds. Two, one, okay. Probably leading to a little bit lower. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to sit on my hands for right now. Trade it back into it. A little bit of a reaction. We'll see. Nasty business. As expected today. But I still wanted higher to consider a good short opportunity. For some of this nonsense. Fakes. Good lads taking those. Mm-hmm. Really nice sweep in here. Was expecting a range. This is a nice surprise bar up. Should see some follow through to our target now. That was challenging to get a hold of. You probably had to ape in. Wasn't terribly happy with the bearish presence there. See how we're spooling higher? Even though there's the opportunity of making some money short, this isn't a high probability trade. Getting caught in it just spiking up 20, 30 points. Mm-hmm. High's been taken on NAS. Oh, interesting. Should follow suit on futures then. Looking at here. 94 flat. Can it do? 93. There she goes. Might trade back into the range. We'll see. Nope. Still holding half. This guy. Five seconds till this bar closes. Be interesting. Range is in this large area, right? Now, that's much lower probability shorting here because this isn't a protected high. Typically, when you take protected highs, you trade back into the range. I'm just looking at the amount of volatility. But as I said this morning, I'm not looking to short this morning. I wouldn't recommend going long up here, but you'll probably make some money. We'll see. Right? If you've missed this parabolic, then you're sitting on your hands waiting for some sort of a pullback and then failure. But what you'll find, well, you probably won't find it because you won't hear about it on FinTwit, but all the gurus are shorting, thinking that there's going to be failure trying to catch the 80-point move back down. Don't do it. Don't do it. Everybody understand why we were only long this morning? Do we have to go over this? Should we go over this? I'm sure we're all entertained. Right? Failure, yeah. I mean, crux of our system for sure. Crux of our system is failure. It gives us our bias. It gives us our entries typically. Right? But as you see on a higher time frame, what does that look like? Right? Just look at that for 1 sec. How it delivered. But not just that, you got a low, swept, low, swept them all. Right? Right? Low, swept, swept them all. Intermediate bottom here. This was a little challenging given what we thought with the SNDR. Right? Beautiful sweep and it came back through. The key with that is that we actually had a body closure above this high. Now, first trade, scalp. This is your double bottom. Now, spooling higher, finally a bear bar. Might give us sideways to up. Those of you guys that enjoy your scalps. You're looking for the market attempting to sell off and failing. Sweep of that bear bar would do it. If, otherwise we trade back into the range. Some urgency here. See what they do. Failure to close underneath that bull bar, our last structural one. Takes us immediately higher, which might actually break the high. Right? I grab that sweep. Minimum target is this high. See what we got. That's not what bears want to see. Ergo, those of you guys that are new, I saw that we've got quite a few signups actually yesterday. So welcome. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. This is your last stop on your road to profitability. And if you don't believe me, ask the 10 people that have already gotten their first payout or their first evaluations passed after years. We trade failure. Those of you guys that have signed up, there is a sweep model video in the premium content. I would recommend highly watching it. Basically, our system is sweeps with narrative. It offers us entry models. It offers us where we expect it to go. It gives us our bias. It gives us most of everything. Right? I took a few minutes away from the charts last night just to look at FinTwit. And like, it wasn't that long ago that I was in your guys' shoes, right? Where you kind of feel like you're drifting a little bit in an ocean of information. And all you want is the outcome. You just want to get profitable. You don't care what system you're following. You don't care who's teaching it to you. They could be the worst person in the world. They could be the best person in the world. Doesn't matter. Just somebody get me profitable, right? The amount of pain and everything else that goes into it. The amount of people in this industry that are trading or running rooms or running affiliates that don't know how to trade. It's exhausting, actually. And I really don't envy people that are looking for some sort of port in the storm, even with all the YouTube content and everything else out there, right? It's rough. You know, what you'll find, even if you're just kind of checking out our free content and our free stuff that we're providing on a weekly basis because of our desire to give back to you guys, is that we're actually in there trading profitable. Yes, we have red days. I think I had 2 red days in June. I've already had 2 red days in July. On Apex anyways. Right? But you'll find everything works and it's actually being taught and delivered correctly. Wow, who could have predicted this, eh? What happened to everybody that's shorting all the way up to our target? Almost like the higher time frame has a reason to go higher. Nice trade, man. Good conviction to hold on to what you see as well. Climactic bar. Right, climactic bar, all trends ending climax. Not convinced that this is the end right before our range, but at the very minimum, this is signaling that the CME is getting their commission. And now we're monitoring to see if the following candle is showing signs of needing to pull back. right? Still looking at our higher time frame objective. If you're not involved, your task is to steal your emotions rather than trying to hop in for the ride. Right? You've got a flat bottom candle here at 43. Lower time frame objective very well could be that. Right? We've ran 150 points in the last 15 minutes. Take it easy, B. Good to see you here, my friend. Not what bears wanted to see, but they are stopping the bleeding in terms of what they're attempting to do here. They don't want to see it trade above this candle. Right? And just as a refresh, when we're expecting higher prices, how we want the candles to form is we open, we trade lower, and then we trade higher. Right? Open, trade lower, close on our high. Even this candle opened at 510.75. It traded lower 3 ticks and then went on a rocket ship. That's how bull bars form. They typically trade lower than higher. We're not terribly happy about ones that go like this. I mean, we are if we're in a position, right? That's a 30-point candle. Right? But it becomes an area of liquidity underneath it. It's an imbalance of sorts for those of you guys that know ICT a little bit. Similarly to this. Go grab some, go touch some grass, man. Mountain born Luke. Really solid guy, puts in a lot of work. He got his first evaluation recently. Well deserved. Important bar here. We got 15 seconds till close. We want to see what sort of buying pressure comes in at its low. If it's a weak bear bar after that bullish response below here, then we likely go higher. We'll see. Here's your candlestick theory. You're looking for this high, 62. Having some difficulty. See if it can push through. You don't want it coming back to the open of this. We want unfinished business and gone. Right? And one might think, hey, strong bull trend. Sure, man. This guy's just calling out to buy anywhere. But we're actually looking at what price should do in order to go up, what price should do to go lower. Right? With conservative targets on the lower time frame objectives. With our potential intermediate time frame goal of taking and making new highs. We made a swing here. Right? That's low. That low's job is to put in a new high. And now you have to determine, using candlestick theory, how that's going to occur. Right? Other disciplines will use these bear bars as order blocks, looking at the midpoints of them. Right? Didn't quite hit the midpoint of that one. Hopefully, all the ICT bros get something, right? But I'm looking at this fractal here that broke this downtrend. Tapped into it. Ideally, we continue higher. That said, valid high, right? You want to see continuation of bearish failure. Are we green? Are we confused? Are we loving this? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I feel the love, but I want to make sure you guys are able to actually take some action with what we're discussing here. If not now, then at least able to progress on the ability to do so in the future. Bang. Not interested in shorts. Not interested in shorts, but that's not what you want to see on the bullish side so far. We'll see if they get follow through. Lethargic selling is not what they want to see either. They want to see gone. Yeah, we'll figure out what we want to do for our backtesting this Sunday. Sitting on my hands currently, not trusting this short price action at all. We'll probably get an explosive move up as everybody realizes they're offside. Green is green, man. Green is green. Right? Knowledge increasing is just as powerful. Obviously, we want that to translate. Is this what the bears want to see at all? Probably not. They're certainly trying, aren't they? Are they doing just enough to get everybody interested in short? Or are they suckering in longs? Shall we go to Twitter to see what the experts think? Yep. When in doubt, trust the manipulation. This fails to put in a valid high after all that selling. If you've made your daily bread, the easy money is probably done. Easy money is probably done. If you're green, sim. If you're comfortable continuing with failure and whatnot, and you're green, then consider risking half of your day. But make sure you go into the weekend with something to show for your hard work this morning and your analysis. Mental capital and everything is a real thing. Weekend red equals bad. True. 69 points. Nice tie. How did it feel though? No. No. You can celebrate your success without saying what you missed or what you could improve on. That can be reflection later. Celebrate your success first. $69 points, man. Unreal. Yeah, I saw that. You guys during Asia absolutely destroyed it. It's nice to watch, actually. Right? 5 PAs I passed on Wednesday. Good way to end the week. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Man, that's exactly it. Let's get some fire in the chat for Ellis, guys. That's unreal. That guy's been working hard. Right? I don't know where you guys came from, but making $200, $300, $400 a day consistently and then scaling your accounts. We're talking $40,000 a month. We don't need it's nice to have those 2K, 5K days. Those are the highlight reels. Right? Those are the highlight reels. Your profitability is in your consistency. Bat middle of the day, yeah. He's Bat in here? I think he's in here, isn't he? I'm going to call him Mr. Swings. Now find someone for London session. Anybody know any cloning software? Poor Tom. Poor Tom. Tom and Socio are probably the best traders that I know. And I know a lot of traders. It's no joke what they're able to do on a daily basis. Anyway, so much love. So much love. We're just fanboys of each other. Everybody's like, all right. All right. Let's get back to price delivery. Like, look at this. 1 to 2 minis. 1 to 2 minis. One to two minis and trusting yourself. Showing up to the desk in a powerful state, humble but ready to kill it, executing your system regardless of what happened yesterday, and away you go. Make no mistake, this is a high performance sport. Many of you guys in here have the ability that you don't even need to listen to me or anybody else. You have it already. It's you versus you. How many times have you heard that? Take your losses. Taking a loss doesn't mean you're a bad trader. In fact, it's ironic that it actually makes you a good trader. Take your losses when they come. Don't allow them to make you identify yourself with them. That's what we got going on here. Right? Down, up, down. If we put in a valid low here, then this is likely done pulling back. Do we still have targets higher? Yes. Are our swings shortening up though? Yes. There is the danger of this going through. Right? This Lowe's job on a lower time frame, similarly to how we anticipated this with our swings, this Lowe's job is to put in a new high. If it cannot do that, right, this doesn't matter. Because we're within our lower time frame swing of this bar. And all the price action encapsulated into it actually doesn't matter. We need to trade above this, ideally with a body closure, but this is your aggressive change in order flow flip. Right? Trading above here isn't our change in order flow yet. We want to see something put in. Otherwise, we sit on our hands. Should we trade lower? We've got this consolidation here. If we zoom out, right, you've got this large range now. Your 5-minute fractal is here. That was the area that sent us up with a body closure above our last protected high on our 5-minute. So it's very important if we trade into it that we hold it. We've got our origin here where the market decided to go on a rocket ship. What is that? 78 to 33, 40 points, right? I think we're doing the same thing here. Weird. I should have probably marked that out for you guys rather than yammering on. My apologies. How I view the market is SNDR to SNDR. That's how I get my bias. It's how I get my targets. I respect the power of the imbalance, but I use structure to determine where we're going to. So if we're going to forecast price, we're looking at trading into here, which then trades back up to the range. Should we fail at this SNDR, and it is SNDR because we've now broken below a protected low, respecting that, which is our expectation, takes us lower. If we fail at this low here, then we go lower to our consolidation from this morning that we left. This is how you guys start to look at objective-based trading models where you're going, if then this, if X, then Y, if Y, then Z, right? That way, you're actually looking at the market going, if I see failure here, and that failure might be something for different people, you might need to see a sweep, right? Some people in here didn't go long on this candle. You are correctly waiting for a sweep for the more conservative failure. That's good. Stick to your rules. That's awesome. Some people are more inclined to see failure here on order flow, take a contract, it comes back in and sweeps and they're adding. Don't compare yourself to where somebody else is, right? Now, that looks pretty suspect, doesn't it? So the concern right now is that this, given that we're on a higher time frame, revisiting this, given how this traded up, this SNDR expectation is now out the window. Yes, we are failing. We did just flip on the 1 minute, but this is where you guys are looking at fake flips occurring. It's not really taught. It's just kind of given to you guys and almost expected to be digested, right? And people will be shorting here. Now, that may very well make some money. But your concern is that your higher time frame, well, we haven't actually tapped into this fractal yet, so it's kind of up in the air. If this 5 minute imbalance gets respected, which it looks like it's going to, then that narrative holds true still. But what you're not liking is that given that we're in a higher time frame move, we need to see some failure in here to complete our higher time frame change in order flow, which then send us lower. Right? We didn't sweep this SNDR. We're actually closing above it. So everybody that was looking to short in here, this was actually the area that I wanted swept to do so. We may very well continue lower. All eyes are on this imbalance right now. Right? And if you are taking this, your stop's above here. You want this unfinished business and gone to your objective. Yikes. Very cautious with shorts. That's for sure. You've officially got your change in order flow to continue upwards now. So, dueling opinions. Personally, I'm thinking we take this high. And this was a fake flip. And the reason for that is because a 15-minute imbalance is a lot more important than a 5-minute one. Especially given that our higher time frame is up. If you're going to fail, you're looking at a higher time frame double top, which would mean that we trade lower, we then trade higher. If we fail here, that would really send us lower. This guy doesn't miss, eh? Look at this guy. In before everybody asks, well, where is his losses? Well, you got to have losses in order to post them, don't you? The legend. Life's fun when you're making money, isn't it? The real sauce is having fun even when you're not making money. When you're able to approach the market with grace and gratitude. That's Mikey about my losses, yeah. From a lower time frame objective, this is key. And that's a double sweep into a fair value gap. My guess is that Tom is long. Of course he is. We'll see. Run is right. Yep. Good awareness of your mental capital. That's good. Interesting how it's speeding up, executing a lot of people. I mean that both literally and figuratively. Sprinting up towards that high, you're looking at the midpoint of the fractal that sent us down initially. "15-minute imbalances, man. Do not mess around against them." Did anybody catch this? Other than, well, yeah, of course Tom did. Bang. Still going, right into our zone. So just a quick little review. Quick little review. A little bit of sauce for you guys as well. If you have a 5-minute imbalance, right? What happens is, and some of you guys that have been around me long enough know this, if you have a 5-minute imbalance, say this area here becomes an imbalance, we trade away from it. What reason do we have to go below it? Right? That 5-minute typically will be a 15-minute low. I took mine off as well. So I'll explain this trade a little bit. Below that 5-minute imbalance that we've just tapped into, right? Say here, tapped into it, left. This low is typically a 15-minute low. So you have a 15-minute imbalance here, which then trades lower. You guys consider this inducement. And then we respect that and the actual move happens. Right? So you got to be aware what your imbalances are like on your higher time frames. Now, when we were evaluating this trade, why were we looking at this? Initially, we had two options. We were going to trade back down into here. Cool. In order for us to do that, this SNDR has to hold. So the goal would be trade back into here. And if we're going to continue lower, it would be this. Right? With that being our objective. Now, failing here, getting a body closure in here, and then trading above the SNDR, structurally, that's not what we want to see. So we're not looking at this being a 1-minute flip when that happens, because at a minimum, our 5 has failed. We actually tapped into a 5-minute imbalance here. And as you guys saw, the 15-minute imbalance underneath us should put in a new high, which it did, which is likely why Art absolutely destroyed that trade. Now, why are we not looking at this 5-minute imbalance being powerful enough to send us lower? Right? Because we're tapping into something higher underneath here, which is now being respected. So now, okay, we've got this 15-minute imbalance. We've tapped into it. That low is at 37. How do we get involved here? This is where our model comes in. So it's not this imbalance alone. What you're looking at is we've got bullish bar closing. We sweep above. We take the low of what? The bullish bar. So we've got our structural bear bar here. And we're sweeping underneath it and we're failing to get any sort of pressure. Where's the pressure here? All on the buy side. So going into this weekend, those of you guys that aren't sticking around for next week, the question that we always ask ourselves in the price action is, what's the market attempting to do and what's it failing to do? Because if it's failing to do something, for example, consider you're short here for whatever reason, God knows, and you're failing to go lower, that's price telling you it wants to go higher. If it can't go higher, that's telling you it wants to go lower. Pretty simple concept, right? But what we look at is the pressure. So why did this move happen? What's our expectation of candles? And there's a free candlestick video that talks about this in the core content area for you guys. Right? Manipulated lower, failed, traded above this high, cool. We then traded up higher. The bearish response here needed to be a strong bear bar. And all they did was manage it being closed here. We traded lower, we traded through, bye-bye, gone. And this is just everybody realizing they're on the wrong side, the market's expanding. Any questions from anybody? Everything has to be in context. Everything has to be in context with each other. Yes. By the end of the month, I will give you guys the inverse SNDR discussion. Okay. And I dare say that Trey Beautiful might do a live, something live for you guys. We'll see. Look at this. I took it off of the highs and look at this. Nonsense. Nonsense. So, one last piece of information. If you guys are learning anything, study this weekend. Yeah, me too, Art. Study this weekend. How you learn anything is how you learn everything. We talk often about if you're learning a language, and you guys have heard me say this ad nauseum, if you're learning a language, is it better to study it out of a book in your spare time once or twice a week? Or if you want to learn Mandarin, maybe go to Beijing for 5 months. See how fluent you become pretty quick. Make sure you guys are immersing yourself in the market and studying the right things. Perfect practice, not just practice itself. Take some time for yourselves this weekend as well. Reflect on your growth this week, regardless of outcome. Focus on process. And hopefully we'll see you guys later on. Now, I'm going to call this stream now. I don't know what Bats' plans are, if he's planning on doing anything this afternoon. I will be doing a Q&A later on. What a trade that ended up being. I know, I'm kicking myself. But market gives you something to work on all the time, doesn't it? Cool. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm going to do a quick poll right now just because I'm curious. Right? Because it's all well and good if you're able to trade it yourself. It's all well and good if you're able to call it, or not call it necessarily. But we let our results determine how well our process works. And that goes true for me as an educator as well, right? I have to be able to articulate what price is doing in a way that you guys are able to replicate the analysis. So if I'm articulating something and you guys aren't able to take actionable advice and you guys are struggling or are red, then I need to revisit how I'm educating and communicating to you guys. So please fill out the poll. I don't care if it's sim or otherwise, but let me know how I'm doing so that I can revisit this and improve over the weekend as well. Oh my God. Everybody is green? Okay. All right. Well, so we just need to have 300-point bullish days in the market. That's all we need to do. Is that's it, eh? We're not asking. Okay. Come on, there's got to be somebody in here that's red. Please fill out the poll. I can't show this to the admin group. Somebody, anybody. All right. You guys are hilarious. Hey, we got one. Good. Who changed their vote? Cool. Appreciate all of you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you on Sunday for some back testing. I'll get the schedule out as well. And we'll see you later on for Q&A. It will be open to the public too. And you pester Bats enough, maybe he'll come on or something. We'll see. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk soon.